Good Saturday morning, Looney Tunes critic fans. Fans of me. You're not here for any other reason, right? Just because you love me, right? We're watching Rabbit Transit this lovely Saturday morning. And you guys can thank Roberto Severino. I hope I said that name correctly. Or Roberto. If I didn't, I apologize. But he requested that I do this cartoon. And it's a good one. Oh, it's a good one. This is a trilogy of cartoons, and it's one of those. It's a trilogy which is unusual, unlike some of the other ones, because usually when you see a trilogy, quote unquote, of cartoons, it's usually done by the same director. In this case, it's 3 cartoons done by 3 different directors. The original being Tortoise Beats Hare, which was the great Tex Avery. And then after that, it was Clampett. Clampett did Tortoise Wins by a Hair. And then now this one is Freeling. And it's a really good one, too. She's a good one, as they say.
I can beat you, Mr. Rabbit.
That did it. Listen, Snail, I'll give you the post position and spot you 100 yards. I'll run backwards with my hands tied behind me back, and I'll run you ragged. I want to race?
Yes.
I love this cartoon, but so what can I tell you about this cartoon? Well, so much. But before I tell you the stuff that I know, all the crap that I dig into on this start, Mr. Severino, who requested this cartoon, he said that he loved the ending, but he didn't want to spoil it. And I'm quoting him directly here, in case you haven't seen it.
What do you know?
That's a good one. Yeah, no, I'm the Looney Tunes critic. I've been devoted to Looney Tunes cartoons since I was 6 years old. I've been studying them since I was old enough to read, and no disrespect to you, Roberto, but yeah, I've seen the cartoon. It's come up. And even if it hadn't, I wouldn't do a commentary of a cartoon that I hadn't seen. But that's being nitpicky, I guess. AC Gamer deserves a lot of respect here and props, because all the stuff coming out of Cecil's shell here, all of on that smoke stuff and everything, all that cool look, that's all AC Gamer. This is, by the way, this is the same year, this cartoon, 1947. This is the same year that Roger Rabbit is supposed to be taking place. And interesting to note, it's the last cartoon of the 46-47 season, which leads me to believe that this is the last cartoon produced in the Schlesinger building. Now, Schlesinger had retired, actually, a few years before, but the studio, Warner Brothers, moved from, look at that, all that AC Gamer animation coming out the back there. Good stuff. Yeah, good stuff coming out the back. Look at it. But yes, the entire studio left Hollywood on Sunset in 1947. So if this is the last cartoon in that season, the 46-47 season, then that leads me to believe that, yeah, this is the last cartoon produced at at the original Hollywood studio before they moved to where they currently are in Burbank. Which is interesting to some people. Actually, it's interesting to me too, because it is interesting. I like this cartoon because Frizz is, again, somebody who understands Bugs better than Chuck Jones as a comic hero, because, you know, Chuck doesn't really seem to understand Bugs when he's losing. And one of the things that's great about this is that it's two heckler characters. Now, we know based on what we've already seen that Bugs is going to win, or Bugs is going to lose in this, but Frizz doesn't make it a foregone conclusion the way Jones does a lot of the time, that the one character is going to win because they are the protagonist or antagonist or whatever you want to call it. Because Bugs still has, heckler moments where he's winning, like what we just saw, where he's on the turtle's back, but then the turtle, gets one past him. And then that character, kind of comes to life and says, "Hey, you're the hero of this picture. What are you doing?" It makes more sense that a character, like on a pendulum level, like if Bugs, when Bugs wins, he wins big. So why wouldn't he lose big as well? I mean, Rabbit Rampage is a good example of Chuck not understanding the character when he loses, because he's ultimately still doing the smarmy, and trying to stay cool, calm, and collected thing even when he's losing. He doesn't really lose big in that stuff. And he still doesn't, and he never has the upper hand all throughout Rabbit Rampage either. He has it here a couple times, as he does in the Clamp and Avery examples. So, but I do think that all of that is worthy of mention. And also, I also love the fact that Cecil steals his big line, the anti-stinker line here at the end. "Oh, the boys in blue heard you." He's a snitch. As if that would work, but, whatever. It's funny. It's funny. I think it's funny. Ain't I a stinker?
Ain't I a stinker?
All right, you guys. We will see you next week.